Hello and greetings from the eccentric side. My name is Uche. Now, I heard about the TB Joshua documentary done by the BBC, and I felt why not give you my opinion on it. So, if my commentary makes sense to you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the eccentrics, and drop your comments in the comment section below. Now, to fully understand my take on the whole TB Joshua happenings while he was alive and the synagogue church, you need to first understand what or how we humans are wired. From in my own opinion, I believe that as humans, when we have problems, yeah, we are bound to look for any and every solution we can find to these problems. And if we can't find this through normal means, say financially looking for a solution or medically looking for a solution, we tend to turn to the divine. That's why the saying of the God of the gaps, maybe you can't find a cause to a problem, you blame it on the unforeseen things, So you want a solution to your problem. Doctors have told you it's not possible. There's a very high possibility that you turn to spiritual leaders, say pastors, imams, traditional religion, and Buddhism, whatever religion you find yourself in. So I understand as we are humans, we tend to turn to get, and sadly, we have situations where these religious leaders take advantage of our vulnerabilities. Now, will I really blame them? The answer is no, and here is why. I won't blame them because, as I said, or another point about we humans is we have a very bad habit of wanting to make money, and sadly, some people choose to make it out of other people's downfall, and um, other people's on other people being unfortunate, but that is sadly the truth. Now, the video itself, well, left me with a lot number of questions, and I'll be asking them. Now, if you have questions, I would like to see your questions in the comment section below. And the video starts, the documentary starts with this person that realized the person is gay and saw miracles happening on TV and came to Nigeria in search of miracles. So I think she was coming from the UK. So all the way from the UK down to Nigeria, she came to get solutions to her being gay. So it means that for her to come down to the country, it means that at that time that she was hearing about the church was already big, so to say, right? Now, in the church, a number of people were interviewed. Bisola, yeah, remember that popular case where Bisola was complaining that CB Joshua was after her life and then we swept all those matters under the carpet. Yes, she was also part of the interview, and a number of other people. But then I had some issues, and here are my issues. One, I understand if the from the interview they said, or it was stated that TB Joshua took advantage of minors. TB Joshua was greedy. TB Joshua was using diabolical powers. TB Joshua was very vengeful. He had no human sympathy. TB Joshua was only after profits. He did not really care about people. He was a fraud. He was the biggest fraudster out there. He was a con man. And sadly, at the end of his life, he was still celebrated despite this con. But then, let's rewind and go to my questions. Now, teenagers complain that TB Joshua took advantage of them. That is sad. I have no questions for them because they are actually minors. My question goes to those responsible for them. When TB Joshua was taking advantage of your words, what were you doing? Where were you? Now, as I said, I understand that we want to look for solutions to our problem, but how in the first place are you comfortable leaving your child in the care of a man of God? Now, I know that it's not only TB Joshua that does it. I think I've heard of a number of other churches in Nigeria that do it. I won't mention names in case if I'm wrong, but I know I've heard of a number of other churches in Nigeria that do it, that maybe you send your child to go and stay with a pastor or a prophet or whatever title they are holding in order for them to, I don't know, help out, contribute to the church. But then TB Joshua had a number of these people in his church, calls them disciples. The title of disciples also tell you that there's actually something that is wrong with this guy. So when the man was taking advantage of your children, where exactly were you? Now you come out to say that you miss your child. Maybe I think there was one of the women that her child died in the collapse of the church building, which I'll get to in the future in later in this video. But then when your child was with TB Joshua and all these things were going on, where were you? Well, I don't understand. Is it that when you send your children to go and stay with him, you don't have communications with the outside? I don't understand. I'm just asking questions. So please, if you understood that, let me know in the comment section below. My next question goes to the person that came out and was crying that TB Joshua was asking her to help him get virgins and was in turn raping them. I don't know, TB Joshua has died, so it means it is, unless we want to posthumously make him pay for his crimes, there's nothing really we can do. He can't go to prison beyond the grave. But then, if you, in your right senses, I understand the minors, but if you, in your right senses, are not a minor and your pastor tells you to help him go get virgins and you go out to help him go get virgins, I think you should be prosecuted. No, let's leave the emotional parts aside for a minute. I think there's a name they call them. They call them pimps. Someone tells you to help them go organize girls, and you go and help, whether or not it was said to you by a pastor, and I also feel bad for you. Yes, we feel bad for you that this man was that bad and was doing all these evil things. But then, you are not a minor, so you can't say you were manipulated. So how were you going to help him get? You are an accomplice to the crimes. In my own opinion, how are you not being prosecuted? And you're coming out and you have the pride to come out to share, to cry about how he was evil and how he made you do these things. In all honesty, the only person I see as not having any blame whatsoever is the unfortunate daughter, Ajoke, that because she was against all he stood for, all he stands for in his PR campaigns, she was one that suffers for it. So she was being beaten, she was being tortured, she was emotionally abused, physically abused, and abused in all ramifications. So she's the one that I see that does not really have anything to answer for here, to be honest. Now, I think TB Joshua was, from the documentary though, was more of a PR person than a pastor, because even at the points when his church building collapsed, all it seems to be of interest to him was, I should not be portrayed as bad. So instead of moving out the bodies in the day, I'll move them in the night so that the cameras can properly capture them, so that my image is not tarnished in the public eye. I think it was a massive campaign person, PR campaign person. So he was more interested in his PR than he was in the lives and the sheep and the flock he was supposed to be leading. Right? And in the video, we saw that when the church building collapsed, the president came down to offer his condolences to the pastor. I don't think that part was flogged enough in the video. It is sad that a church building like that collapses, multi-story. I agree, possibly his defense may be that the time it happened, there was no really investigation going into, so he had every right to go and pay his homemade. But I think that visit would have been better if he did not go there to pay his condolences to the pastor, but to the members who lost somebody in the building collapse. I think that would have looked a lot better. Because now the video is out, it's now looking like he, former President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, was one of those that TB Joshua had in his back pockets. Because the documentary alluded to the fact that he was settling a lot of people after the collapse, so he never got his day in the court, and then that matter remains open even till this day. So that part made it look like Jonathan is one of those. I don't want to believe that's the case, but made it look like he's one of those that TB Joshua had control over through bribes and um, possibly promising them prayers and a successful future ahead. And then the man dies. And despite the fact that we know that there's something wrong going on, yes, maybe all these allegations were not out at then, but the issue of the church building collapse was already rumors were already going around by that time when he died. And then our very good lawmakers that are very free with their time had the spare time to organize some tribute to him, and they had choice words for him. Now, before you may think that I'm quite insensitive to this matter, I would like you to know that obviously I'm visually impaired. So if there is a group of people that uh, would have been one of those to go and seek miracles from TB Joshua, I would have been one of them. But thankfully, I was not one of them when I'm watching this video. Although I know a number of people that have gone to his church, but they could not meet him eventually. But thankfully, I'm some of those that went. So, as I said earlier, my major concern goes to the teens that were abused, that were raped. If you are an adult and you were there and all these things happened, I have no sympathy for you. I have no thoughts for you. The only question I have for you is, why are you not being prosecuted according to the law? Because you can't see my pastor convinced me to go and take someone's life, and I went to take the person's life. I must also be sad with you that your pastor brainwashed you to go to take. You should face some level of justice yourself, don't you think so? Let me know your comments in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the Eccentric site. Till next time, stay eccentric.